Oh, I hope the camera's good. Oh, hey, good morning, guys. How are things going? Welcome to another Tech Tuesday here at Bucks Island. Michael and Israel. Um, Israel got all dressed up for you
Yeah, I
guys.
got my new shirt.
I hope you understand how special you should feel that he got all dressed up. So big thing if you were watching the little countdown there, Fish Fest this Saturday, all day seminars. I'm going to get more detailed times, but basically, crappie stuff will be going in the morning, kayak stuff the late morning, talking about the basic boat management, things to think about if you're interested in kayak fishing, showing you the stability, things to consider like that. And then we're going to have a bunch of other, we'll have the boats to demo on the water and all that kind of good stuff. It's kayaks, not all the boats. I have to be careful when I say that around here. And then we've got a bunch of the pros. We'll be doing some seminars, 2 in the afternoon. And we've got about 3 raffles that we're going to do all throughout the day. Food, free food. So, I mean, even if you don't like fishing, like, come get some free food because it should be good. But yeah, so that's going to go all day. Would love to have you here. So get your questions in. I know Mr. Tim Taylor already asked a question on our post, and I've got those queued up, so I'll bring those up here in a second. Um, any big stuff going on? Anything you guys rigging apartments staying busy?
Yeah, we're busy.
We're getting boats in on trailers, and they're basically being dragged straight to the rigging department.
That's right.
A lot of pre-sold boats. If you're shopping these days, I can't say it enough. Contact, talk with sales, and let's figure out what we've got coming. And let's get your name on it. What we need to do to talk to our manufacturers to get a slot reserved. Pontoons, we're pretty much sold out through, I think we're about June, July at this point.
A lot of pre-sold stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But we're gonna have onesie twosies, and the big thing, one of the reasons I want to tell you, like, talk to the sales, not just because we love to talk to you. I mean, of course we do. But like this past week, we had a guy, somebody backed out of one of the Falcons, changed his mind for whatever reason, on a Falcon that was already in spray that was coming here. We had a salesperson that was already talking to another gentleman. So instead of waiting about 4 months or so for a Falcon, he was able to jump on the boat that the guy backed out of, and he's going to have a boat probably in the next 2 weeks. So that's what I mean by, like, you can't just look at our website. I'm doing the best I can to try to figure out how to communicate what we've got coming in, all that. But anyways, that's enough of the sales stuff. Let's jump into some questions. And I'm going to check and see because I'm not seeing any comments showing up. And I want to make sure that the system is working right for me. So if you are commenting,
And we don't see it, we're sorry.
yeah, all right. Okay, I'm not seeing any, so good. Then I'm gonna pull Tim's questions up, and we'll start there. And if all we get is a few questions, then awesome. All right, Tim. So had his 100 hour. Started bogging down when I first put it in the gear to back off. Um, it I don't know, digs down, almost dies. Um, I give it fuel and it clears up. Don't seem to have any more problems throughout the day. Any ideas on what might be happening with that?
Mm, I've seen a few. I've had a couple that had some debris in the tank, and I don't know if, considering that one ran fine, the rest of that is probably not it. But I've seen a few issues with debris in the tank, but I don't think that's what this is. What I think this is may have to do with more of the way these EPA tanks are these days. They're not supposed to release any air, or they're made to suck air in but not let any air out. So, which means they have valves on them, and then they got O-rings in those valves, and when they get a little bit of fuel vapor on them, or if they get raw fuel that gets on them, they tend to swell up a little bit.
Okay.
And I have seen that in some cases it takes a little longer than it's supposed to pop those valves open to let air in. And if there's no air getting into the tank, it'll actually start sucking it in and cause a vacuum in the system. If it's doing that, it may take a little extra vacuum to pop them open, and then usually it'll clear up and not have any issue after that. So that may have something to do with it.
Okay.
And a real quick thing you can do to, avoid if it's been sitting and the cap hasn't been opened, like before you take it out the first time, is open the gas cap up and just close it back, make sure it's getting tight, and then typically the issue, doesn't even surface.
All right.
If you make a real long run and you drop it down to idle for a long period of time, it could recur too.
Okay. Well, Tim, yeah, of course, you know where we are if you continue to have issues. But that's weird. All right. I see a question from Eric. What is a break-in period I see people make reference to on a motor? So it sounds like just general.
General, it's usually about 10 hours. The break-in period is, and we just in that break-in period, the engine needs to see different RPMs and wide open, and no extensive idling or anything like that.
So why is the break-in important? I mean, those of us, especially if you're new to boating, you're used to cars,
Technically, cars got break-in too, but sometimes
right.
they don't tell you about it, But if you look in your car manual, there's actually a list of things to do during a car break-in. But what we're trying to do is seat the rings, and what that means is the rings, the surface of the rings and the cylinder have to kind of mate to each other.
Okay.
And that's to keep the compression where it's supposed to be, and it's also to keep oil on the back side of the rings where it's supposed to be, or it'll go into the cylinders. Okay. And another thing it can do is if you don't break it in correctly, it will glaze the cylinder, which what that is it polishes it. And if you polish the cylinder and you get too much carbon buildup on the cross hatchings, which is kind of what helps keep the compression where it's supposed to be and the oil where it's supposed to be as well.
All right.
If it does that, it's really hard to reverse that problem. So the most critical time at break-in is usually the first and second hour.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the rest of that time is really tempering the piston. So the piston swells. It's made out of aluminum, so it's going to swell a little bit when it gets hot, and then when it cools down, it'll shrink. So it takes about a full 10 hours to fully get it to where it's no longer swelling and shrinking. It's staying the same.
That's why you got the chunk of time where you're deviating your RPMs. You don't want to just set it at one constant.
That's right. And the actual rings will break in and seat in different areas of the cylinder.
Okay.
Which is why we're doing different RPMs. It's about harmonics. The harmonics help break all that stuff in as well. Right. And so the reason we want to see different RPMs is because that harmonics is different for different parts of the cylinder.
All right. And just real quick for reference, if you go to bucksisland.com/service, we've actually got right now we've got a kind of a custom-made Yamaha. It looks a little different than what you might find in your manual, but it's and correct me if I'm wrong, it's made with reference to more of what the service side of Yamaha looks at for the break-in, which is more detailed. So it meets the requirements of your manual, meets the requirements of your warranty, but went through and laid it out for specific to Yamahas for the right time, the RPMs, and how to go about doing all that. Is that fair?
Basically, the way I did it is when we have a new product come out and we have a power head failure or something like that, they'll send a regional service tech from Yamaha to go over the boat with us, and then we'll actually go to the river and break it in together. And this is basically what they do.
Gotcha.
When they come and do their break-in. So
All right.
So I figured I would copy what they did, and they say that it works a lot better than just a general reference of 3/4 throttle. You know.
Yes. All right. Another question from Tim from earlier. Automatic bilge function is glitchy or not working.
Okay.
Couldn't find the float switch. Where is that, and any feedback on what the most common cause might be?
I'm trying to remember if they use I think theirs is like a sensor now.
Okay.
And and it's very possible that it could have failed. Sometimes the wire comes loose to it, you know. All that stuff's butt connected, and I've seen some shoddy butt connecting, here and there. So it could be something simple.
All right. So no float switch.
Yeah, well, it is, but they got newer ones now that sense water, the presence of water.
Gotcha.
Like it makes continuity basically.
I'm guessing it's fairly similar to what you find in like an RV tank when it'll tell you how much water and all that kind of stuff. Similar, just senses the.
Yeah, instead of giving you ohms to give it a gauge of signal, it just gives you pure continuity, and then turns the pump on.
All right.
So.
Well, let me see what other question. This is one from a while ago. So basically, gas pouring out on the side of I think it's a pontoon boat, ruining the paint. I've been told can't do anything about it. Any ideas? You have to just repaint the side of the.
Well, I guess it depends on the boat company. If they still have, like you can get, and I don't know if this is a pontoon or just a runabout or something like that.
It should be a pontoon, I think.
If it's a pontoon, then a lot of times you can, if they still have that particular, color and stuff, you might can just order a rail from the company and have that section replaced. So, I mean, I guess
replace the whole rail. So
yeah,
basically, the answer to the question is that other than repainting it, there's nothing.
Yeah,
if the
a lot of that stuff's anodized, that color, it's not really painted either. So, I'm sure that somebody could probably match it.
Probably not super cheap to.
No.
So depending on what the boat is, and you may just need to live with the gas, or you can replace it
or paint it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions. So I know you've got a bunch of boats to get ready, and I've got a bunch to get ready for Fish Fest on Saturday. I saw them emptying
I'll be gone for 3 days. Yeah.
Gone for 3 days?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I got to go field trip with my daughter. So.
Oh, nice.
So I'll be back just in time for Fish Fest.
All right. Well,
hopefully y'all can make it without me.
You're doing. Did I hear you're heading down to Mobile to the
Dolphin Island?
Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
It'll be fun for my daughter. I have to stay. I didn't get a chaperone. I just said they're like bye, and when they get back, we'll eat, and then bye again. And so I'll be.
Well, maybe you need to take a kayak with you.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Every now and again, I have them. All right, guys. Y'all have a wonderful day, and we hope to see all of you, if you're into fishing, at Fish Fest here this Saturday. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll talk to you later.